What's up, Nerdyverse? I'm Daddy Louie, and in this video, we are taking a look at a game called Deck of Wonders. So stick around. Before we get started, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button for more content and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Given our current situation in the world right now, gamers everywhere are trying to find, a way to get that rich, meaningful gaming experience, all while living in a pandemic with social distancing and all that other stuff. Well, what if I told you that there is a game that is solo, so you can play it by yourself. Games take less than 15 minutes to play. The space needed is as small as a airplane, fold-out tray, and you can get the same enriching experience that you would expect from a game like Gloomhaven or something like that. It is a legacy game, so there are tons of unlockables and achievements to go through. There are bad guys. There's all that other stuff. Well, I would like to introduce you to Deck of Wonders. Deck of Wonders is a game that is coming out on Kickstarter in just a few days. I will leave links to everything in the description down below. The premise behind this game is that you have stolen the Deck of Wonders from Fate herself, and she is very, very upset with you. So she is sending all of her minions and all of these bad guys after you to try and take back what is rightfully hers, this Deck of Wonders. Like I said, it is a solo game. It is expandable, so you will add and take away things throughout your gameplay. And throughout your experience with the game. It is a legacy game, so there will be stickers, cards will be upgraded permanently. You will add and take things away based on your achievements and the things that you unlock. And it takes less than 15 minutes to play. The designer behind the game, he's a father, of young children, and he was looking for a game where he could get that enriched experience from a great strategy and storytelling game all over, a quick nap time. So the question is it good? Well, if you'll join us on the table, we'll check it out. All right, here is the Deck of Wonders. This is everything that I received in my prototype copy. Like I said, it is a prototype copy. A lot of the art is placeholders. Only some of the art is finished. So the finished art that you see, this is what you'll be getting. Anytime that you see these, kind of plain art styles here, those are just placeholders for the finished product. So the game will come with 3 villains. We will really not talk about these 2 villains. We'll only be talking about Cullen. I want to keep this as spoil-free as possible. Like I said, there's a story to it, and there are legacy packs that you can unlock. I'm not going to go over these at all, except for to say that they, you do unlock them by doing certain achievements in beating these villains. But other than that, I'm not really going to talk about the contents that come inside of these. If you're interested in exactly how the game plays, seeing a gameplay, I am going to be doing a Let's Play, which I will post, a day or two after I post this video. So make sure that you stand by and check that out. So you got the 3 villains. Like I said, we're not really going to talk about these 2 villains. Just know that there are 3 villains. So you have your villain pack here, which is Cullen, the Spoiled Prince. There's also your collection. These are a collection of cards that you will use to make your deck. These all have placeholder art, and then you have these cards here, which are also part of your collection, but these are considered to be kind of like your starter cards. And all but one of the cards has finished art. So I just want to show those to you really, really quickly, because the art in this game is gorgeous. You'll also notice that that all of the cards are kind of double-sided like this, and that's one of the unique gameplay mechanics of the game. When you are playing, both you and the villain that you are facing will draw from the same deck, and based on who is drawing the card, that will determine which side the card is and what art you're going to get. So for example, here with the Hungry Wolf, when you, the player, draws this card, you are looking at the top part here. And when the villain draws that card, you are looking at the bottom part, or the new top part. And each card is like that. So every single card in the game will be dual-sided like that, usable by both the hero and the villain. So when you're constructing your deck, you need to keep that in mind. You're going to need to want to read both sides of the card to see, what benefit it gives you, but also what benefit it gives the villain. And you're going to need to weigh those decisions when deciding what it is that you need to do as far as deck construction goes, because you don't want to give the villain too many advantages, but at the same time you don't want to skimp yourself either. Now you're also going to receive a player and rules reference card. This is just to keep handy so that you know the turn order and your activations and stuff. And then also a player health tracker. Now, this is my one very, very minor criticism about the game. I'm not a huge fan of using cards to keep track of health. I did grab just some tokens that I had from another game lying around, and I used that to kind of keep track. I would like to see like a dial similar to something like Gloomhaven has, but at the same time, I completely understand why they're using cards as their health tracker, because like I said, the creator, the designer of this game wants to make the footprint as small as possible. He wants you to be able to just have a deck of cards in your pocket, which is a full game experience ready to go. Like I said, I personally just don't like using cards like this. I think the intention is that they wanted you to kind of like use this health tracker to go along, but that gets kind of finicky, so that's not something that I'm a huge fan of. But like I said, I completely understand why he did it that way. But anyway, I'm going to show you how this game plays. The premise is that you want to take whatever villain you're facing, he's going to get standard cards. So he's also going to get a health tracker and a little bit of a story card. I'm not going to read this, but you get a story about why it is that you're facing this villain. And then at the bottom, there are 3 unlockables. So like this says, the first time you beat Cullen with more than 10 health, you would open one of his legacy packs and add it to his cards. And I can tell you that the very first game that I played, I whooped his butt, and I was like, man, this game's a little too easy. So I added those cards to the deck, and he destroys me now. So just adding, I think it's like 4 cards that you add to his deck makes a huge difference. So it's just to give you like a little feel for the game, and then he gets increasingly harder. And then he's got another unlockable here that says the 8th time you play a forest troll, you would open another pack. And then there's little check boxes, so you can just check off as you play the forest troll. And then on your 5th win, you would open the next villain and that villain's cards. So you're going to take his cards, which in this case there are 28 of them. So you're going to take these 28 cards from his deck, and then you are going to basically make your deck in one of 3 ways. So the first way that you can make the deck is to take his 28 cards and the 28 starter cards. I'm going to call them starter cards. And this would make up your deck. So you shuffle these together, and that's your deck. 28 of his cards, 28 of your cards. So it gets you going quicker, and that's called Trust the Deck of Wonders. That's one of 3 ways that you can create your deck and get started. The next way is to make your own destiny, and that's by combining these cards with your collection and then making the deck yourself. So you choose 28 cards from your entire collection to make up the deck that it is that you're going to be facing the villain with. Now, that's for more experienced players or people who like to really dive into deck building strategies and stuff like that. I haven't experienced or experimented with that too much. I'm going to start, though, because Cullen is really kicking my butt now. And then the final way of making your deck is to let fate decide. That is obviously the most difficult of the 3 ways to take on your challenges. And that's basically to take all of your collection cards and shuffle them up and then deal yourself a random 28 cards. Those cards would be combined with the villain's cards, and that would make up your deck. So Let Fate Decide is definitely not for the faint of heart. You are going to really be challenging yourself by doing that. But for the purposes of this video, we are going to take the starter deck and the villain deck. We're going to shuffle them together, and I'm going to show you. All right, so when facing off against Cullen, the Spoiled Prince, both players, well, the player and the villain, will also have a starting health of 20 instead of the normal 30 that's indicated by the card text on Cullen himself. You've got your deck of cards, so this is 28 of the villain cards and 28 of your cards. Like I said, we just used the recommended Trust the Deck of Wonders starter, and the game begins. So the player will go first, and on the first turn, the player will draw 4 cards. You do get a mulligan if you choose to use it. It looks like I got a pretty good starting hand, so I'm not going to do that. Again, when looking at the cards, there's a top and a bottom. The top is the player, and you'll note that by there being an extra symbol in the center. On cards that aren't spells, basically on creature cards, this is the initiative order. That's the order in which you're going to line up your creatures when the villain attacks you, and they're going to attack your creatures in initiative order. Highest initiative gets attacked first. So when you play cards, you play them. You have to pay their cost if there is any. These 3 creatures that I have here have no cost. The cost would be in the text. And you're going to play them exhausted, so they're not going to be able to attack the turn that they come out. The villains, however, don't have to play creatures exhausted, so keep that in mind. So we're going to play this Gnomish Servant first. He says when you play him, you draw a card. So I would play him exhausted on my side, and then I would draw an extra card. And I got another little Hungry Wolf, which is great. So I'm going to play the Pixie Cavalry here, also exhausted, and I'm going to play the Hungry Wolf. Gives me nice early board control. I'm going to keep my other Hungry Wolf just in case I need to discard something to use this baited trap. You'll see the cost is to discard 1 card. So I would need to discard Hungry Wolf in order to play baited trap, which destroys a minion on the other side. There's nothing else that I can do right now, so then I would unexhaust all of my creatures, and then I would pass turn to the villain. Now, on the starting turn, the villain gets 3 cards, whereas the player gets 4, and you flip them over 1 at a time. So the first one, I flip them like this so that you get the top experience there. He gets a Pixie Cavalry, so I'll place him out there. Then the next card is, he gets a tree, an Ent Tree Herd. So he's getting some early game board advantage as well. Let me shift some of this down here so we can actually see what we're doing. And then his third card would be a Lightning Strike. Destroy the highest priority player minion. And this happens right away. So I have a 3 on my Hungry Wolf, which is the highest priority, so it's destroyed automatically. When discarding cards, you get to choose the order in which they get discarded. I could play the Hungry Wolf on top and hope for a regeneration card to be drawn. And I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to discard the Lightning Strike and then the Hungry Wolf on top. So now it goes to the villain's attack phase. Now, in the villain attack phase, the first thing that you're going to do is establish your battle lines. So on the player's side, you're going to put things in initiative order. So my 2 goes before my 1. And then I get to choose which character attacks first on the villain side. Damage exchanges between the characters. And there's a couple rules that you always need to follow. A villain will only attack a creature if it can destroy that creature cumulatively across their attacks. For example, this Pixie Cavalry cannot outright kill this Pixie Cavalry because it has a 2 attack and a 3 health. So, however, if these creatures both attack this Pixie Cavalry, then it could kill it. Now, if I were to set up my battle line like this, the tree, or the Ent Tree Herd could attack my Pixie Cavalry, 3 damage to 3 health, which would take it out. And then this Pixie Cavalry could attack my Gnomish Servant and knock it out. And I would be left with nothing. However, if I flip these around like this, now the Pixie Cavalry does 2 damage to my Pixie Cavalry. It stays alive because it has 3 health, but mine stays alive also because it has 3 health. And now this Ent Tree Herd would need to attack to finish it off. It doesn't kill it, but I still have this Gnomish Servant left alive. Now, if for whatever reason I had, I don't know, a 5/5 creature out, and he only had this Pixie Cavalry, he would not be able to outright kill my 5/5, so he would just attack me directly, the player directly. But in this case, he had, enough of what he needed to take out my Pixie Cavalry. My Gnomish Servant lives, but probably not for long. So his turn is over. He drew 3 cards. He would untap, and now it would come back to me. Now remember, I have a hand, whereas he doesn't. So I have a couple of cards in my hand. And now that the first round is over with, I'll only draw 1 card. And that's how it will go for the rest of the game. So I would draw 1 card. I got a Ent Tree Herd, which is very good for me right now. However, he does cost a discard. So I could destroy a minion by discarding a card. But then I wouldn't be able to play my Ent Tree Herd. And I think I really want to play my Ent Tree Herd now. So I'm going to discard my... this is a tough decision. I'm going to discard my Baited Trap to play my Ent Tree Herd, which also lets me draw a card. And I drew into another Ent Tree Herd. So I'm going to discard my Hungry Wolf, also to play another Ent Tree Herd, which also lets me then draw another card. And now I have a Poison Toad, which I can't play because he costs 1, a discard of 1, but I can save him for later. And now I've got a little bit of a board going. Now I can't, with my Gnomish Servant, I can't do anything to either of these creatures, so I will just exhaust and attack Cullen for 1. So Cullen's at 19, I'm at 20. And that's how the game plays. We're going to go back and forth, establishing battle lines when the villain attacks, playing cards, drawing cards. But you can see that unique mechanic of both of these cards having 2 sides to them, and how quick a game could go once you've kind of established a board. Another feeling, another thing that the creator wanted to kind of resonate with this game is just having that feeling of, sometimes your back's going to be against the wall, but you can always come back. So he played a lot of XCOM back in the day, and he kind of wanted to have that same feeling and experience when you guys played Deck of Wonders. And that's everything that you need to know in order to play Deck of Wonders. As you can see, there's a lot of really unique mechanics between the double-sided cards, the fact that the villain and the player both draw from the same deck. There's that neat, unique priority system built in with the cards. The fact that it's such a small game as far as footprint goes, yet delivers such a strong strategy. And, you have that built-in legacy mechanic, lots of legacy packs, cards you can unlock, cards you can upgrade. I didn't even get into that. When you defeat a villain, you can upgrade. You'll get stickers. I didn't get those in the prototype, but you'll get stickers that you can then permanently upgrade some of the cards in your collection. But there's only so many stickers, so you're going to have to very carefully choose which cards you're going to upgrade, which is really, really neat. In case you can't tell, I'm very excited I almost want to say this is my favorite game of all time, or pretty close, right? So my favorite game of all time, I've always said, is Love Letter, and the reason behind that is because you get such a good feeling of gaming, like such a good gaming feeling from such a small game. It's only like, what, 15 cards at the most. You can carry it everywhere. And you kind of screw over your neighbors and stuff, right? But there's so much strategy and so much, I don't know, gaming. It just fills you up with the feeling that you get when you're playing a game. Deck of Wonders does that, but you can play it by yourself. I also wanted to mention that there are going to be co-op rules that are going to be coming for the game as well. I'm not quite sure how that will work, but it won't just be solo. There will be a co-op component to it. So now you've taken it from being just a solo game to now you can play with other people. So now you're going to get that same full gaming experience from such a small footprint. I don't know, guys. This may be, one of my favorite games of all time. I can't stop playing it. It's so much fun. I'm going to leave links to everything in the description below. Like I said, the Kickstarter is coming out in just a couple of days, August 25th. And I'm also going to be doing a Let's Play, which I will have up on my channel as well. We're going to be going off against Cullen, but we are going to be letting fate decide how we're going to do that. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this game as much as I do. I think you will. Solo gamers, if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, if you like games like Gloomhaven, legacy games like Pandemic Legacy and stuff like that, you're going to get all of those experiences from all of those games that I just mentioned by playing Deck of Wonders. What do you guys think of Deck of Wonders? Let me know in the comments section down below. I enjoy reading all of those and interacting with you guys. If you want to see more from the Circle of Nerds, you can check out our social media. We've got Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, all at Circle of Nerds. Also, don't forget that we have a podcast that comes out on Wednesdays called The Cosmic Disaster Show. You can find that right here on YouTube or anywhere that you enjoy listening to podcasts. We also have a live show on Facebook Live Friday nights at 8:30 called Nerds on Ice. Definitely go and check that out as well. And for an extra bit of love and affection to us here at the Circle of Nerds, please consider checking us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/Circle of Nerds. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. I will see you in the next video.